Hey there, wanted to share my OG story for those new folks out there that are newly diagnosed or are going through this diagnosis with their own children or a loved one. I want you to know that it gets better. Picture this 8-year-old me peeing all over the toilet seat and not having a clue why I was peeing every hour and peeing the bed because of the diabetes. My mom figured it out pretty quick that my urine felt sticky. Her dad, my grandpa, had diabetes as well back then, so kind of had an idea, and he was insulin dependent. So she put two and two together, scooped me up, took me to the GP back then, general practitioner, old school country kind of doc, and basically told him what was going on. So I'm sitting there, young little kid, have no idea. Took me right to the hospital and admitted me like that instant. Took me to emerge, did a blood sugar test, and determined my blood sugars were in the high range. I think 58, 60 millimoles, which is very, very high. So picture this. I'm 8 years old. I'm in this, back then, 43 years ago, older hospital where I was born. And I'm just sitting there, not having any idea what's happening. Super scared. My mom looks completely upset. So I knew something was wrong, but I had no idea. They admitted me into a two-bedroom with other sick kids. The doctor came in and was talking to my mom and dad, and I was in the background. I remember feeling incredibly scared. I was totally frightened. I had heard that I had the same thing my grandpa had, and I knew he took needles. I had no clue what diabetes was and knew that my life was gonna change. I remember feeling really frightened, uncertain, upset, looking to my parents for guidance. I had no idea. The next thing I started thinking was, okay, I have to stay here by myself. My parents look upset. What's going to happen next? It was not easy. I had blood work taken every hour with venipuncture. Back then, they didn't have glucometers or CGMs. I had to pee on a thing and they test the urine in a test tube. It was archaic, man. Like, I'm talking dawn of diabetes time, although there's some folks probably watching this and going, oh, no, man, I had my diabetes far before you. That's what happened back then. Not to mention the daily routine in the hospital. I was in there for about a week. It was rigid. To this day, I don't like tomatoes because they made you eat every single thing on your plate to match your archaic one-shot-a-day dose of insulin with the food that they would bring you in hospital. So, yeah, I got myself a little TV in the hospital, was watching scary movies at night. That was fun. One of the scariest memories of my time, there was a birthday party. All the kids on the ward would go down and have birthday cake. And I was told, well, you can only have this tiny piece. You can have this little bit of ice cream. I couldn't understand why I couldn't eat what everybody else was eating. Shortly thereafter, I was sitting upset, and the nurse came over and said, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know what's happening. And I looked at the nurse thinking, please tell me I can go home. She said, well, you're going to be here for a bit, and you have to take a needle every day forever. I remember being so upset knowing that my life was going to change forever. Not to mention the follow-up appointments that my parents would go to, and then he told, he's probably not going to live past a certain age. It was pretty bad back then. Anyways, I wanted to share that, not that morbid part of it, but just the fact that this is a real thing that I'm sure you're going through. My two kids have type 1 diabetes, and I went through the same sort of process with them. It was scary, but nowadays, we have tools that are life-changing for type 1 diabetes. So, the initial shock sucks, it's scary, but you're not alone. There's a lot of support for us type 1 diabetics, and there's a lot of tools at our disposal, from smarter insulin pumps to hybrid closed-loop systems that do the thinking for you, taking a bit of that mental burden off. The technology is life-saving. The CGMs wake you up and alarm you when you're going low. So thank God for tech. I hope you can afford it and have a benefit plan that can cover it. But I just wanted to share my OG story to let you know that it's going to be okay. We got your back. Put in the work, learn as much as you can about your diabetes. And the more you learn, the more you figure things out, and the better your blood sugars will be. All right. Well, thanks for watching this. Bye.